For Progressive Voices, I'm John Sinton, and this is a turning point. Today, state-sponsored trolls. The Washington Post is reporting on life after being a content moderator. One says, I think of all the horrible stuff we're exposed to, and then learn that there are tens of thousands of content moderators who can barely hold down solid food. They have seen too much, unquote. Another former moderator says, if I have children, I will not let them see anything on social media until they are 18. Over and over, we were told that Russian interference in our elections was just a hoax, but a, quote, new indictment reinforces that it wasn't. Russia began trying to influence American politics a decade ago, ultimately finding a sympathetic ally in Donald Trump. Now, instead of trying to make fake personalities who can elevate contentious issues to Russia's benefit, there's a stable of Trump-allied voices who already are. In a separate Washington Post article, we learn about a new reminder that Russian interference was never a hoax. Quote, it just succeeded in a way that Russia could never have predicted. And isn't it funny how the people calling everyone fascist, socialist, communists were actually spreading messages from the Russians? There's more, this time from the Associated Press, confirming that, quote, right-wing influencers were duped to work for a covert Russian influence operation, unquote, and from the New York Times, a specific case that helps to explain how these influence campaigns work in a story called Activists Charged with Pushing Russian Propaganda Go on Trial in Florida. You'll recall that it was recently that the Trump campaign was infiltrated by Iranian bad actors. It is assumed that the Iranians also took aim at the Biden, now Harris campaign. Up until now, our intelligence agencies have thought that official China was on the sidelines while official Russia and Iran were both full-time trying to introduce chaos and division in our elections. It's beginning now to appear that official China is also doing so, but is trying to mount a plausibly deniable arm's length execution of their strategy. That is not the case with the Russians, who were right up front. Until we catch up, society will continue to struggle with both the unintended and the intended consequences of social media. One cannot underestimate human nature when it comes to adapting to new technologies. Lead-based paint and asbestos insulation in construction are two different but excellent low-tech examples of how we innovate with dangerous products only to have to play catch-up and clean-up once the implications are clear. It happens with each technical revolution. Historically, the United States is a technology leader and innovator. Our history is that we outkick our coverage with each new iteration of technology, and then we adjust. We play catch-up by imposing regulations, whether it's the automobile industry that was forced to install padded dashboards, seatbelts, and airbags, or the railroad industry that is currently fighting against the implementation of positive train control to curtail operator errors that cause fatal accidents. By comparison, tech firms in the European Union are also innovative, but they are leashed by stricter regulations than our tech sector. The EU thinks an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I'm sure that former content moderators would agree. Finally, a little movement. After years of pressure over child safety, Instagram has announced new teen account settings, calling them its most dramatic effort yet to provide young users with safety from dangers on its platform, unquote. CNN's Claire Duffy writes that the changes will automatically make millions of teen accounts private and restrict what kinds of content those users can view on the app. It should be noted that neither China nor Russia is innovative in the least, but they're both good copycats. We innovate, they imitate, usually to our demise. It isn't just that they lack scruples, it's that they purposely poke until they find shortcomings, lapses, and downright open back doors in our tech and its defenses. Jake Tapper on CNN said today the U.S. government is trying to peel back more layers of what officials are saying is a massive and complex effort underway to influence your vote in the upcoming election. One part of these alleged plots, replacing your average 2016 Russian social media bot with actual conservative Americans, right-wing influencers with a combined millions of followers, influencers promoted by Elon Musk, some visited by Republican politicians such as former President Trump, unquote. In the recent indictment, DOJ claims Russia funneled millions of dollars to U.S. shell company Tenet Media that paid 9 prominent right-wing media influencers. The trolls all claim that they didn't know they were being paid by Russia. Yeah, everybody who believes that, stand on your head. In all, 32 internet domains were seized. They were operated by front companies for the Russian government. They even had a name for the spycraft. It was Doppelganger. Well, as the lieutenant on Hill Street Blues admonished his officers at the beginning of every watch, let's be careful out there. For Progressive Voices, I'm John Sinton.
PV brings you the best progressive audio and video in one free stream. Stephanie Miller, Tom Hartman, Randy Rhodes, David Packman, Brad Friedman, and more. Search Progressive Voices on the TuneIn app. Download the free Progressive Voices app or go to progressivevoices.com.